Alright, welcome everybody. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to use Alumilite and phosphorescent material or glow-in-the-dark material that you can add to your epoxy resin. What we got here is a ring spin that is also a regular spinner. It's the Stargate ring spinner, and then the buttons that I'm going to be doing the Alumilite in. And these are magnetic that'll go into the ring itself. So there we go. So what we're going to do is measure out our Alumilite. I'm using water clear Alumilite, and then I'm going to use the blue resin for the outside color, and then I'm going to be using a blue clear, but I'm going to be adding a darker blue to the blue Alumilite, and I'm going to be using white to the regular non-colored blue. So that'll give me the effect that I'm kind of looking for with a couple toothpicks, kind of swirl it around. So let's get started. Let me move this over here to where you guys can actually watch my work here. There we go. Let me grab a couple toothpicks real quick. I'll be right back. So everything's done with Alumilite by weight. So I use these plastic cups because it's just easy to mix in, and I dispose of them real easy. So we turn on our weight. We're using side A first, and then we're going to use side B. And what I usually do is go for 0.25 ounces. Of course, that's in grams, kilograms, ounces. There we go. 0.25, and then 0.25. And then I add a teaspoon of the Alumilite, or the glow-in-the-dark phosphorescent powder, per half an ounce. So if you do 1 ounce, then you're going to use 2 of the, well, actually this is 1 teaspoon. I'm sorry, this is 1/2 teaspoon. So half teaspoon per half ounce. That wasn't quite full. There we go. I'm going to wipe off the phosphorescent material off of this, because it's got the blue dye in it, and I don't want that in the clear. Then I'm going to take about a drop of the blue. This is color additive that you can buy online. But basically that's all you're going to need, a little tiny drop. Then mix this. And I mix pretty quick because I really don't worry about adding air into this, because I degas it, or degas it, however you want to call it, in a vacuum pot, which is this thing right here. I usually pull negative 28 bar, I think it is, or 0.28 bar on the gauge. And I usually do both. If I'm doing multiple colors, I'll do both colors at the same time when I degas it. Alright, so that's our blue color. Very nice. Kind of liking that. Alright, let's move on to the other one. this is the white Alumilite. That way it actually comes out white instead of like an opaque color. And I'm using 2 drops of the white to really get a white color. And then mix this. I usually mix for about 30 seconds to make sure that both of the part A and part B are thoroughly mixed. That way I get a better set. I've had a couple times where it was really slow setting. And it all depends on temperature, barometric pressure, the dew that's in the air as to how your Alumilite's going to turn out once it fully cures. Usually once I degas it and then pour it into the mold that I'm working with, it'll immediately go into a pressure pot. And then the pressure keeps the air bubbles from expanding, so they stay like microscopic. All right. Now let's run the degas. Bring you over here where you can see. These are my 2. You'll get to see when the air gets, and believe it or not, there's a ton of air in these things. All right, so valve closed, pump on. See the bubbles forming. An interesting thing about the dark blue or the colored ones, they collapse faster than the ones that have no color. So what I have to do is cycle the air valve to make it collapse and then re-engage the air valve so it doesn't overflow. During the vacuuming process, the Alumilite will heat up and it'll get thinner. And then what happens is the bubbles will break up faster, and basically it collapses on itself because it can't maintain the structure of the small little bubbles. So you can tell the Alumilite's getting warm because it's starting to collapse. the bubbles are popping faster. And this usually goes for about, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how fast the bubbles evacuate out of the Alumilite. Until even in the blue that it's collapsed, there's bubbles that are coming out of the epoxy. Problem is, you're not going to get every air bubble out of these, so you're working against the clock of it, starting to harden. So you basically, once you get to a point, you just have to okay, that's good enough, and go ahead and stop the process and re-enter air back into it. And you'll see all of the bubbles that you see now just disappear, because they'll go to a microscopic level, because it's sitting inside of a vacuum right now. Alright, we're going to call that good. Shut our pump off. Let air back into the system. And then you'll see all of these air bubbles just disappear. Alright, I'll pull those out and get them ready. At the same time, we're going to come over here. And these are the buttons that I'm working on right now. And kind of set this over so where you can see what I'm doing. Alright, let's get this out. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add the blue. I'm not going to fill it all the way up. I'm just going to coat the bottom and let it spread out. Do the same thing on the other side. Now here comes the fun part. Since I'm trying to create the effect of the portal, I'm going to put a little bit of the white right in the center, and then I'll swirl it out. Actually, I think I got a little bit too much in, so let me, easy trick to take some of these out. Use a paper towel and basically just kind of dip in and it pulls some out. Do the same thing the other side. That way it dropped low, that looks good. Okay, now we'll add our white right in the center. And I'm only gonna need like a couple drops, so I made way more than what I really needed to, but all right. Now you just take a toothpick, kind of swirl a little bit. I like that. That came out good. All right, let me add a drop more of the white in the center. Come on, one drop. That's all I need. There we go. One more drop of white. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. What do you guys think? All right, so then we're gonna take this. This is gonna go into our pressure pot. I'll bring it over in a second when I get this set up. All right, come on over here. All right, this is the pressure pot. Now both of the buttons are down inside. Put the lid on here. And clamp it down. And I run this up to 45 psi, and that basically helps the any bubbles that might be in the liquid, instead of like raising to the surface or expanding sometimes during chemical process, they keep nice and tiny and you don't see them. They stay at a microscopic level, and once it hardens, then it really doesn't matter. They're not going to do anything anyway. All right. Now let's go ahead and turn our pump on. And we're going to run this up to 45 psi, and then I'll do an unveiling, when it gets done. All right, scuba back down. I'm out.